overall, this is a fantastically detailed model, and I do wish I had that last bit to put on there to showcase it in all its finery. Hello and welcome to Marty's Matchbox Makeovers. Now, as promised in a previous video, I'm revisiting the Shand Mason horse-drawn fire engine. And there is a good reason for this. The reason is that when I did the makeover, I had a piece missing and I didn't realise until I was halfway through the restoration, so I had to order it online. And it was the pump on the back. Well, I'm hoping that today is the day when that missing pump part, when that missing piece turns up. I've just heard the mail lady leave, so I'm going out to check the mailbox to see if the missing part has finally arrived. So okay, it's here. It's all good. Let's open it up and see if it's the right bit. I'd hate after all this time. I mean, it's taken over a week, I think, since I ordered it. Imagine if they sent me the wrong piece. It's from Recover Toy, a spare parts, die-cast spare parts supplier based in Croydon near Melbourne, Australia. They always package their parts really well. Look at this lovely little box it's in. So there it is, and it looks like the right part, and you know what? It's the right colour too. The gold should match perfectly with the gold steam boiler that has already been installed on the model. So just a close up here to have a look at it. It looks like a 9mm round to me. And it's attached to a backing plate with a couple of tabs on it that must lock it in place somehow. As yet, I've got to work that one out. A lot of these models for sale on eBay are missing this piece, so it must have been a design fault from Matchbox that made that part easily detachable with little kids' fingers tugging away at it. I did see these holes at the back and wondered what they were for, and now I know. I'm quite embarrassed by the fact. So these are the little tabs I'm talking about, and I tried to look online to see if I could find the image of an original part just as it is, to see whether this needed any additional shaping or filing to make it fit. But I won't know until I've pulled this apart and done a test fit to see whether or not I need to modify it in any way. Now, luckily it was put together with a little Allen bolt there, Allen screw, which means that it's easy to pull apart and revisit. I do like this gold colour. It's a very good match for the gold that I had painted the boiler in. As I said in the video, most of the images I saw had the gold boiler, so I thought that I would make it gold and match the pump assembly that's gold also. So I'm just looking at it here. It looks like that bottom tab hooks in underneath the boiler, and then the top tab is just like a force fit in there. So not a great deal holding it into position. But that seems sturdy enough for my display model. Don't know whether it would last if it was being played with continuously. It probably would break off. In fact, I can understand why these models are available. With so many parts missing and heads broken off and drawbars snapped and the horse is missing and the wheels missing, it's because they really are more of a display piece rather than something that could be played with, in my mind. Now, putting it back together was quite fiddly because we are looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 parts here, trying to position them and line everything up at the same time and put that tiny little Allen screw back in. Colour matched, by the way. to the base of the model. Oh, it's very awkward. Fiddly, you really need a third person with some of these jobs. I seize the moment there, everything is lined up. Quickly get this screw in and tighten it up so it doesn't move. I think I've done it. I think it's done. Yep. Oh, that's great. Now the model is complete. Finally, after all these years, who knows, when were these made? 1958 or something similar? I can't remember. You'd have to watch the video. I can't remember now. Something like that. I don't think I was even born when this model was made. There you go. Doesn't that look magnificent? Good on Recover Toy for providing these parts for people such as myself that need them to complete models. Okay, the casting's a bit rough, but it looks good. I mean, these are really small. Anyway, out of interest, I thought I would revisit some of my yesteryear models that I've made over in earlier videos. And in particular, this Lipton's Tea horse-drawn carriage, or horse-drawn bus. I was curious as to whether the horses were the same or different for each model. So I've got it out to compare it today before I put them back on the shelf. And I've noticed that yes, indeed, the horses do seem to be interchangeable. They're identical models, which is good to know. So if you look for some horses for the fire engine, for example, online and you can't find any, maybe if you look for some for the Lipton's Tea horse-drawn bus, you will find them. Now the scale of the horses is great. They're both exactly the same, but unusually the people here, the men, are depicted at different scales, which is a little bit odd. It's just a point of interest there. Now, whilst I had this display case off the shelf, I thought I would also revisit the Sentinel steam wagon. At the time of the makeover, I did not paint the gold tip on the exhaust stack that comes through the cabin, the roof of the cabin there. And I noticed online that most of them have that painted gold, and it's a nice idea by Matchbox just to add a little bit of extra bling. So I decided to paint mine gold, and then I could say I had fully restored it. So I hope you enjoyed that update on the Shand Mason horse-drawn fire engine, which I did last week. And it has now been turned around from a fail to a fix, I guess you could say, with the addition of the missing pump. I also hope that you found interesting the fact that I revisited the steam-powered truck there and just touched up the funnel from the boiler with a little bit of gold paint just to give it a bit of extra bling. Reason for doing that was that I'd seen most models on the internet that were for sale actually had that gold on the top, and I'd missed out on it during my research, so had to make it complete, and I think you'll agree it looks a little bit better for it. So until next time, this is Marty from Marty's Matchbox Makeovers saying thank you for watching, thank you for supporting my channel, and until next time, goodbye.